Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the LOWRIDER DLC, how much money you actually needed to partake in this DLC, and the discussion of if it was way too expensive. So if you guys watch my videos regularly, you guys know that I do kind of a prediction video before each DLC, really telling you guys what I think, how much money is going to be needed in order to participate and buy everything from the update. And I was right about some things, but I was also wrong about a lot of the unknowns, and I want to talk about that in this video. I stated that the cars themselves would not be that expensive, and that is 100% correct. On Benny's website, the cars, I believe, are like the price they are regularly because they're just delivered to your garage as like a normal car, and then you can just choose to bring it to Benny's. I said that the unknown was going to be what was going to happen in Benny's original Motor Works garage, and that's where things went really insane in terms of pricing. I totally underestimated how expensive everything was going to be in Benny's mod shop, and I think a lot of people did as well. And I've got a few issues with this. Overall, I'm impressed with the DLC. I'm going to leave that for another video, but one thing I was not impressed with was the customization fee just to get in the door to Benny's mod shop. To be able to add all the other things to your car, you would have to pay a customization fee of $400,000, $390,000, depending on what car you were using. So that in of itself right there made those lowriders unbelievably expensive. So literally, just to make the car customizable, get that custom tag at the end, you would literally have to spend upwards of $400,000, depending on what vehicle you brought in there. Now, once you got past the door and once you got access into Benny's garage through the customization feature, a ton of the upgrades were extremely expensive. I'm not even joking. These are some of the most expensive upgrades possible. I was not expecting this. I mean, the hydraulic system, one of the hydraulic system is almost $250,000, $250,000 for a hydraulic system. That doesn't include anything you could do to the interior, all the things that you could do to the exterior, upgrading the engine, upgrading the trunk, doing all the normal upgrades like adding bumpers and fenders. I mean, it's extremely easy to spend $1 million customizing one of these vehicles. And that to me is absolutely insane, especially when there are so many options. Like if you guys watched any of my live streams the other day, you know that I would like to play around with things, different paint jobs and different attachments and different liveries. And so I'm spending money to preview how things are going to end up looking, which is just more money that I'm having to end up spend. And it's just a crazy mess of spending so much cash in Grand Theft Auto Online. And just to do a little bit of rough math, since there's 6 lowrider vehicles and you could easily spend about $1 million customizing each one, that's about $6 million right there just in cars, which is pretty crazy because if you think about it, that's relatively similar to the cars in Ill-Gotten Gains Part 1 and Part 2. You had the supercar that was a good chunk of money, and then the other cars that were around $500,000 to $200,000 each. And I understand it for Ill-Gotten Gains because that was the theme of that DLC. It was supposed to be a very expensive update. But I think that these lowriders are a little bit too expensive. And I get that the customization is supposed to be rare. It's supposed to be unique. It's supposed to be really cool and have these cool things that we've never seen in online. But I just think they're too expensive because someone that works hard in grinding missions to get $2 or $3 million might only be able to participate in half or even less than half of this DLC just because of the overall cost. And that doesn't even include the other things that came with this update. I talked about how the weapons would be kind of around a relatively cheap price, which is true, but they also added some new luxury engravings, the use of a mirror, the gilded gunmetal finish. So I talked about that. Those are expensive. Those are about 40 or 50 grand each. The clothing is certainly not cheap also when you consider all the options that are there in terms of haircuts and different hats and accessories and shirts and pants. So overall, this was not a cheap, if you can see my air quotes, update. There was a lot of money that could have been spent on this. And I know theoretically, everyone is not buying every piece of clothing or upgrading every single car. But if you did want to partake in the entirety of this update, it was certainly going to cost you more money than probably originally intended. So I want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. What do you think of this update in terms of the price? Was it too expensive? Do you think it wasn't expensive enough? You're a crazy person if you think that. Do you think it was right on par? I'm really torn because at the same rate, I understand Rockstar wanted to make these vehicles unique, and rare things happen to have a higher price tag in terms of the lowrider customization ability. But at the same rate, they're lowriders, and I don't know if you should be spending $1 million customizing a lowrider. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. I bet we can get some pretty good discussion on this issue. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you did go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would be awesome. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily Grand Theft Auto 5 videos like this. With out of the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.